Good evening. We will now call the planning board meeting to order. At this time, we'll have our roll call. When you hear your name, raise your hand. William Roach. Here. Okay. Joe Towns. Here. Tamara Lipscomb. Present. Thomas Thompson. Here. James Motley. Here. Kia Mills. Present. And Charles Fagg. Here. Okay. At this time, we'll have the adoption of the agenda for April 15th, 2026. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Second.
All right. It's been moved and second. All in favor, raise your right hand. Opposers? All right, approval of the minutes from February the 18th, 2026. You all have had an opportunity to read those. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
Okay.
Second.
It has been moved and second. All in favor, raise your right hand. It's majority. Thank you. At this time, we will begin with our items for consideration. Consideration of a rezoning request for the property located on 1122 Lawsonville Avenue, parcel number 158701. The owner and also the applicant of this property is Bradley's S. SCHEIDECKER. The owner and applicant have submitted a petition to rezone this property from conditional zoning neighborhood business CZNB to residential agricultural 20 RA20 docket number Z2026-03. And good evening, Claudia.
Good afternoon. So, Bradley SCHEIDECKER is petitioning to rezone one developed property located in 1122 Lawsonville Avenue, parcel number 158701, from conditional use zoning neighborhood business to residential agricultural 20. The owner of the property is Bradley SCHEIDECKER. The parcel encompasses a total area of 0.6 acres. The land is currently zoned conditional use zoning neighborhood business and is developed with a single-family dwelling located on site. Water service is available within 1,500 feet of the right-of-way of Lawsonville Avenue. This water line is operated by the city of Reidsville. Sewer service is existing or available within 2311 feet of the right-of-way of Lawsonville Avenue. This sewer line is also operated by the city of Reidsville. It appears that this property will not require public utilities as it already has well water and septic system. The property is not located in Jordan Lake watershed or Troublesome Creek watershed. There are no streams or riparian buffers on site. The floodplain insurance rate map indicates not floodplains. This rezoning proposal is in alignment with our watershed regulations and does not pose a threat to the watershed or the city's drinking water supply. This property is located in Growth Management Area 4, Growth Management Area 4 Rural, which is mainly characterized by residential development and undisturbed natural areas. These areas are generally located adjacent to existing urban areas and municipal services, and the current road network is capable of accommodating future growth. Since this is an existing dwelling type structure, the proposed use is appropriate for this area. Staff find the proposed rezoning to be consistent with the Reidsville Land Development Plan, reasonable and in the public interest based on the above mentioned information provided in this report and the attached statements of reasonableness and consistency. The planning staff recommends the proposed rezoning application to be approved.
Are there any questions for Claudia?
Just for my information, there's a well and septic tank there now.
Yes, sir.
And if I remember what city is, if something goes wrong with either one, then he would be required to tie into the city water or to the city sewer system?
Yes, however, I will double check that with Drew.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question. Apparently, there's current business operating there? So not residential, but,
It was a hair salon.
okay.
That's why it had that rezoning, but it's a dwelling structure.
Dwelling.
Yes.
Okay. And so from that perspective, the plan for that usage, that additional land, is just to continue?
To be a dwelling, yeah, a residential structure. And currently, there's someone living in the dwelling, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, thank you.
Any more questions for Claudia before we go into public comments? Okay, thank you. At this time, if there's anyone here to speak for this consideration, please come forward, state your name and your address.
Since you had questions before, I'm Brad Scheidecker, the owner.
Okay, come to the mic,
I
sir.
currently live over in Mooresville, North Carolina, 108 Pier 33 Drive, Mooresville, North Carolina. Plan on relocating to 1122 when the house is remodeled. There is no answer, continue to answer your question she did. There is no business operating there. The only items on that parcel right now are a single-family residence along with a shed that has no type of beauty salon equipment in it at all. It's just a typical storage shed. Whatever that was that operated as a beauty salon is not there. And I do understand that if something happens with the existing well, et cetera, that would have to be tied in. And there doesn't appear to be any problems at all with those. I've inspected both of them and have had no issues. Are there any other questions?
If not, you have a seat. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Is there anyone else here to speak for the consideration? Is there anyone here to speak against the consideration? If not, we'll close the public comment portion and we will have board discussion. Okay.
I think it's well within the guidelines
Okay.
of what's being proposed and everything else.
Okay.
Reasonable.
Okay. If that's the case, would someone like to move and read your draft motion in your binder?
I make a motion to recommend the proposed rezoning be approved for the specified parcels to the requested zoning district based upon consistency and reasonableness determination. Statements that are included in the council agenda packet submitted during the rezoning presentation and as may be amended, incorporated into the motion to be included in the minutes.
Can we get a second? I second. All right. It has been moved and second. If you are ready to vote, all in favor, show your right hand. Okay. That's majority, no opposers. Thank you, and the consideration has been recommended. Thank you. All right. Our next item for consideration of a conditional rezoning request for a property located on 7410 US 158, Rockingham County, parcel number 142306, from Rockingham County Residential Agriculture RA to conditional zoning residential C6, CZR6. The applicant is FORESTAR Group Incorporated and is applying concurrently for annexation, knowing the rezoning process is incidental to the annexation process. The property owners is NAJEEB, Rahman, MUNIRA, Rahman, please forgive me if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, and Robert ROURK, and Jean Ann ROURK. Docket number CZ2026-02. Claudia.
Thank you. FORESTAR Group, Inc. is petitioning to rezone one undeveloped parcel located at 7410 US 158. parcel number 142-306 from Rockingham County Residential Agricultural to City of Reidsville Conditional Residential R6. According to the Rockingham County tax card, the owners of the properties are NAJEEB, REHMAN, MUNIRA, REHMAN, Robert ROURK, and Jean Ann ROURK. The parcel encompasses a total area of 73.29 acres. The land is currently zoned Rockingham County Agricultural and is undeveloped. Water service exists or is available within 271 feet of the right-of-way of Ashland Drive and Winterberry Drive. This water line is operated by the City of Reidsville Sewer. City of Reidsville Sewer service exists or is available within 215 feet of the right-of-way of Ashland Drive and Winterberry Drive. This sewer line is also operated by the City of Reidsville. The property is located in Jordan Lake watershed and Troublesome Creek watershed. Additionally, there are several streams on site that are required to be protected by 100-foot riparian buffer per the NCDEQ Jordan Lake buffer rules. It is the responsibility of the developer and applicant to obtain all required stream buffer impact approvals from NCDEQ prior to development of the site. The floodplain insurance rate map indicates no floodplains on site. This rezoning proposal is in alignment with our watershed regulations and does not pose a threat to the watershed or city's drinking water supply. As you know, a conditional zoning request amends the zoning map with the specific conditions incorporated into the amendment. This allows the owner and developer to place voluntary conditions on the land with the intent of restricting allowable uses within the new zoning district or to ask for deviations from standards. The owner and applicant get to choose which of the allowable uses for this district, in this case R6, that they would like to impose upon the land. The owner and applicant have requested to limit allowable land uses to single-family detached dwellings. The applicant has provided the required concept master plan and has agreed to provide the following development conditions. The density shall not exceed 100 units. A 20-foot wide natural landscape buffer is to be preserved where possible. Public roads access shall adhere to that which is shown on the provided concept plan, and the individual lot dimensions are to exist as described on the provided concept plan. Per Article 5, Section 1 of the zoning ordinance, any major change that alters the density of the development, decreases use of compatible design features, decreases pedestrian features, or changes the uses approved for the property must again go before the planning board and city council for approval. Minor changes which do not rise to the level of major change might be approved administratively by the Planning and Community Development Director. Approval of the concept plan does not issue approval for construction. A preliminary plat review must still be completed by the Technical Review Committee, along with the applicable construction drawings for infrastructure. The proposed concept master plan includes construction of 100 single-family detached dwellings on this parcel. As noted above, this development is located within 2 protected watersheds. A watershed is a geographic area of land where runoff flows downhill to a single water source. As a reminder, 2 watersheds are found in the city of Reidsville and the extraterritorial jurisdiction, Troublesome Creek and Jordan Lake. Troublesome Creek watershed recharges the surface waters of Lake Reidsville, which serves as the city's and some surrounding areas' drinking source. Per Article 14, water supply watershed development within the Troublesome Creek watershed incurs a 24% built-upon area limit, with the exception of single-family detached dwellings, which are exempt from the built-upon area limit, but can be built at no greater density than 2 units per acre. The total parcel area is 73.29 acres. When multiplied by 2 units per acre allowance, a maximum of 146.58 units may be permitted. The proposed unit count of 100 single-family detached dwelling meets the required density limit of 2 units per acre. Other community infrastructure planned as part of the development, such as mail kiosks, common areas, and additional community parking, shall be subject to the 24% built-upon area limit. This property is located in the border of the Growth Management Area 3, Suburban and Growth Management Area 5, Conservation. Growth Management Area 3 Suburban is mainly used for residential development and has vacant attractive land available for new development and redevelopment. GMA 3 is mainly characterized by having wastewater utilities and existing stable residential areas. Within the GMA 3, encouraging a greater number of planned unit development is key. These areas are generally located adjacent to existing urban areas and municipal services, and the current road network is capable of accommodating future growth. GMA 5 conservation encompasses the area to the southwest of the city. The land development plan notes that GMA 5 is located in the watershed protection area of Lake Reidsville. GMA 5 is intended to serve as a buffer between high-density development and the city's watershed supply. However, GMA 5 does not explicitly exclude development, and the watershed regulations include standards that accommodate residential development within the prescribed limits. All in all, staff finds the proposed rezoning to be consistent with the Reidsville Land Development Plan, reasonable and in the public interest based on the above-mentioned information provided in this report, and the attached statements of reasonableness and consistency. The planning staff recommends the proposed rezoning application to be approved. And I will answer any questions if you have any.
I've got something I'm a little confused about. On this Article 14 of the water supply thing, the Troublesome Creek watershed, about the 24% on the built-upon area. Okay, now it says it exempts the single-family homes and all that. But it says they are exempted from the BUA limit, but can be built at no greater density than 2 units per acre. Now, are they talking, and the way it was applied here, it was applied to the full 73-acre plot. How about just the built-upon area? Does the 2 units per acre apply to the built-upon area, or the whole thing together?
The calculation was with the 73.29 acres. So in there it says that they are proposing to build 100 units, and the maximum is
146.
146. So they're well above.
Right.
Down the
Well, I guess my
limit.
question, now, I see that for 73 acres, but the development itself, the built-upon area, doesn't include the whole 73 acres. And it was just a question.
Well, we have in here the applicant, so he can elaborate on the concept plan and how they're going to distribute this development.
Okay. That was just a question in my mind.
Yeah. Also, in the binders, you can see in one of the pages, almost at the back, closer to the maps, there is a page with the concept plan, with the
Yeah.
proposed concept plan.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
So Claudia, is this an extension of the Ashcroft subdivision? Is this what this is?
They are both together. I wouldn't call it an extension, but the applicant can elaborate in if they're both like that related to each other.
They just kind of,
Yeah, this is Ashcroft.
yes.
Yeah, they both
Yeah.
connected.
This is Hudson. And I see in that that it's tying on to Ashcroft Drive. I don't, as far as meeting rights of ingress and egress, usually you want two
Yeah,
or
so
subdivision. Is this satisfactory?
we have, there are options to potential entrances. So there are potential entrances on Ashland and Ashcroft, and there is another emergency access only drive off US 158. We'll have a gate with a Knox lock to prevent non-emergency vehicles from using the drive. NCDOT has no issue with this option, only if it's used during emergency events and it stays locked. NCDOT will require it to have a paved stop connecting to US 158.
So there will be a second, but it's only for emergency vehicles only, is what you're saying?
Yes.
So we don't actually see that drawn on the concept.
It's not, yes.
Now I'm confused. Are you basically saying the entrance or coming in off of 158 is only going to be used for emergency? I mean, the people living in there, they're not going to be able to come, they're going to have to come all the way around to Ashcroft to turn in to get into this? Or are they going to be able to turn in off of 158 to get to their residence?
We have, the applicant has updated information on the entrances, so he is going to elaborate
Okay,
on
that's fine.
that. You have any other questions for me?
And we'll call the owner right now. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you. All right, at this time, is there anyone here to speak for? Thank you. Please come up and state your name and your address, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Mark Isaacson. I'm an attorney in Greensboro. Address is 804 Green Valley Road, 27408. I've given one of these handouts to Claudia, but with your permission, I'd like to hand these up to the board. While those materials are making their way down the dais, by way of introduction, I'm here on behalf of the applicant, FORESTAR Group, and the property owners. FORESTAR Group is a land development company with offices in Greensboro and has this property under contract to purchase approximately 73.29 acres along Highway NC Highway 158, subject to approval, of course, of annexation and rezoning. As the staff explained, that the intent here is to develop this property for approximately 100 single-family detached homes with a zoning that is generally consistent with nearby properties. With me this evening are our civil engineer, Aiden Stoltzfus, Pat Ivy, our transportation engineer who was with NCDOT until recently and is from this area, and representatives of FORESTAR. So any of us are available to answer any questions that the board may have. If I could direct your attention to the first page of the handout, this is an aerial view of the property, the subject property, and it's outlined in green. And as you'll see, it does touch NC Highway 158. It is adjoining the Ashcroft community, and I think fair to say that it's well located for access to Highway 158 and US Highway 29. So well located and near a mix of uses, as you'll see to the east, of various uses from light industrial to other residential to medical services to commercial, several restaurants in the area, to religious organizations and agricultural. So a fairly wide variety of land uses in the immediate area. I would submit to the board that this area has been in some transition for a few years and will likely continue to see some changes as Reidsville experiences steady growth in this area, especially given the proximity to these thoroughfares, to Highway 158 and to US 29. Now, to illustrate our zoning application, the next handout is the concept sketch plan that the staff referred to. And there you'll see the layout of approximately 100 single-family detached residences. And to answer a couple of questions that came up, yes, the access, the direct access to the property is stubbed in right now in the Ashcroft community, and that would be the access for this community. So I would submit that when Ashcroft was planned, that access point was stubbed in and was contemplated as intended here. We have worked closely with the city staff, including the fire chief, and you'll see at the northern end of the property, there are two access points. Now, we don't plan to use both of those. We plan to use one of those. And the deal there is that if the other community adjoining this develops first, then that would be, as shown and shaded in gray, that would be the emergency vehicle access point. But if that property just remains as is and is not developed, then the alternative that we worked out with the fire department is the access, the emergency access point on Highway 158. So really that's an alternative of those two access points for emergency vehicles. And this access and transportation plan has been reviewed by city staff as well as NCDOT and has been approved. And our engineer, Pat Ivy, who was with NCDOT for many years, is here to address any questions that may come up about transportation. A couple other points I would submit for the board's consideration here. Approximately 50% of this property is being retained as open and undisturbed space. And I would submit that that's important in a development such as this. We understand that there are some sensitive areas on this land, and we want to respect that and be good stewards of the land. So our engineer, Aiden, who is here, has designed this to sort of cluster those homes a little closer to each other. And that's part of the benefit of annexing the property into the city, the opportunity to do that. If this were developed in the county as is, it would be more spread out. It would probably adversely affect those sensitive areas. And we have worked with the staff and our engineers to design this so that it takes into account the opportunities that annexation provides. And would submit that that will make for a more efficient use of land and retain those open and undisturbed areas. And we think that's good for the environment, good for the city, good for the adjoining owners as well. The density that we're looking at here is approximately 1.45 units per acre, so under 2 units per acre. And I would submit that that's consistent with or lower than the density rate of nearby residential development. And we have imposed several zoning conditions on our application voluntarily and working with staff to provide assurance to decision makers of the city that these will be the zoning conditions. What you see is what you'll get. And with those conditions, if this is approved by the city council, would run with the land, as lawyers say. So they would be binding on the property and would continue to run with the land. Oh, maybe we were getting thrown out. Okay. You all had enough of me already? All right. I've been called worse, I guess. In addition, and I'll keep moving on, but you all are welcome to throw some questions, and we can wait till the end of not much longer. Next is a copy of a letter that we sent out to all of the property owners in the area per the city's notification list. And just wanted to tell you all that we explained in summary form that, who we are, what we're trying to accomplish here. And we also had a neighborhood meeting on Tuesday, February 17th at the Reidsville Recreation Department on Washington Avenue at 5:30. I think we had about 6 or 7 folks who attended. I had talked with one of the neighbors to the east of this property who adjoins the property, and she and her husband, very nice folks, but they had a concern about impacts of these homes on what's now vacant land. And so if you go back to the sketch plan, you'll see that along the eastern boundary line is a darker shade of green. Now that's an additional landscape buffer that we added as a zoning condition and part of the binding sketch plan here to address their concerns. She had indicated that there were others along that line that were similarly concerned, and we listened to that, and we wanted to do whatever was reasonable to mitigate impacts of this development. So we imposed an additional landscape buffer, and we also moved those lots a little bit further away to provide some area for planting there. We haven't heard any other concerns or objections. I'm not sure if we'll have any further concerns or objections, but I did want the board to know that we listened carefully and we, I think, acted in good faith, and we tried to address that concern with additional landscaping, a healthy landscaping buffer. To sort of wrap up, as mentioned in the staff report, this application is consistent with the city's land development plan that was adopted in 2022. That report goes into considerable detail about the growth management areas and the ways in which this proposal addresses the expectations of each growth area. The staff report goes on to conclude that this proposed rezoning is reasonable and in the public interest and meets the criteria for statements of reasonableness and consistency as required under North Carolina law. So in summary, the location of this property provides excellent access to a North Carolina highway and a U.S. interstate level highway, Highway 29, so as to allow safe and convenient access for residents traveling to work or school or other areas in and around Reidsville. The applicant has worked in good faith to address the concerns heard along the property lines from neighboring owners by adding the landscape buffer that I referenced. And we think that this plan achieves a well-balanced mix of low-density residential with preservation of open spaces to protect sensitive areas. We would submit that this proposed single-family community will be in line with other similar residential communities in the area and will provide homes in this area that will continue to serve this city for many years to come. And with that, we're available to answer any questions that the board may have, and look forward to your consideration.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to follow up with questions asked earlier about the density. As I understand it, we're talking about 100 units within that.
That's right.
So the property based upon the acreage would accommodate 142. With the restrictions that have been included, am I to understand that you are committing that higher density or movement density up to 147 units, which the land currently would be able to accommodate, will not be coming forth as a planned second phase? Is that a correct statement?
That is accurate. We put some handcuffs on ourselves. We worked with the staff and our engineers to carefully lay this out. What you see is what you get, I would say. We understood that there were maybe some concerns by neighboring owners, by decision makers, and we intentionally and thoughtfully laid this out to reduce the density well below what could be built here. So I think we've acted in good faith.
Okay, thank you.
And you said your density was what, 1.4?
1.45 is the estimate, that's right. And our civil engineer, Aiden, is here to address any questions you all may have about density rates.
Yeah, my question that I asked her was, that
How do you
2
measure it?
per acre thing, did it apply to the area that's actually built on, or did it apply to the 73 acres?
Right.
And I know the way it's written here, it applies to the 73 acres.
I guess the way I would answer that, and then I'll defer to, I'm not an engineer, I don't even play one on TV, but I was the chairman of the planning board in Greensboro for a number of years, so I've had this question come up, and I respect that question, understand it. Density has got to be measured consistently under the ordinance. Those are the goalposts that we all play by on the field. And the way density is measured is by the total acreage.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah, not by, if we did that. Otherwise, it would be a little uncertain, because until you really get into, this is a sketch plan, and I think I know enough to be dangerous that we got to go through a pretty rigorous review from staff, and not just planning staff, but transportation, emergency access, water resources. I mean, land development is not easy, and we always say in our office, rezoning approval is the first step, and it's an opportunity to try to develop the property. That's all it really gives you.
Yeah. Well, we're delighted to see the single-family unattached.
But we want to be
here
consistent. That's what FORESTAR does. That's the kind of business they're in. They're pretty good at it, identifying properties that are suitable candidates, and then, as I mentioned, trying to thoughtfully, intentionally lay things out so that it works. So I think, there are a lot of good merits to this plan. I hope you'll agree.
Well, as a comment or two, speaking as former chairperson of the planning board, first of all, I appreciate you all reaching out to your neighbors and having a community meeting. Instead of trying to ram something through, y'all let them voice their concerns, and y'all made some adjustments to it, so I appreciate that. And then second, the updated sketch that you gave in here shows that emergency road that I was questioning about, with emergency exit. So that's why I questioned it to start with. It wasn't on the original one that we had here in our book.
Right. I thought we had what lawyers call a hot bench for a minute there, so I appreciate y'all asking some valid questions.
And I agree with the thing, because I'm retired from the fire department, so when I saw this other map, I'm asking, if we got a trouble with a power line or got a tree down, how are these people going to get in? How are we going to get emergency services in?
Right.
Or how are these people going to get out? So now that took care of my question.
Well, I can tell you from my experience in Greensboro and other communities that when you apply for annexation, the staff attacks that application, and they try to think through all those points, and they say, what happens if somebody has a medical issue or a house is, God forbid something like that happens? And we got response times that we got to be concerned about, insurance rates. There are a lot of different considerations here. But this is what happens, I think, when you have a really good team of people, professionals, a civil engineer, transportation engineer, experienced land developers, and every now and then a good lawyer. So, I think we've got a good plan.
They don't hurt either, do they?
Just one other thing, just, I guess, basically for me, because I've seen it in a lot of places here in town where we've approved, people come in, clear cut the land, it's sat there for a year, 2 years, and it's growing back up. So how quick, I mean, I know you probably can't say, but how, do you have any idea once you start, when you'll start actually putting houses on this property?
Well, that's a hard one to answer, but let me just say that what I like, I mean, look, I'm a lawyer, I go by rules.
Yeah, I understand
I'm on the
that.
planning board, I go by ordinances,
Yeah.
I read them, I try to explain them to people. Really, the economic checks and balances are what control, and it's the market.
Yeah.
And so I think Reidsville's growing. We've got several clients that have invested in Reidsville. I don't call any names, but there's some high-profile projects here, and, you know, I think this community has struggled for a few years, but it's got a good trend, it's got a good trajectory. And so I guess I would say these folks would not be investing their capital in this property, in this community, unless they had a strong belief. I mean, their jobs are on the line. So I don't think they're going to do something that is foolish or unfounded. They're going to invest in this. Now, this will take a while if it's approved.
I understand that, and I don't expect, you know, once everything gets approved, that 2 days later, you're gonna start grades and building a house.
Right.
So-
Still got to go through a pretty tough process.
Yeah.
We respect that.
Okay.
And all that ends up, I think, with a good result,
Okay, great.
we think. Happy to answer any questions, but I don't want to belabor the points.
Any more questions?
Okay.
Thank
all.
you. Would the board like to hear from the engineer? Or would the board like to hear from the engineer? Anybody else? I'm sorry, anyone else for the consideration? Let me do that.
Available for questions.
Yes, yep. Any questions? No? Okay.
I do have a question. Recognizing the fact that you don't have
Need to come forward.
pinned down yet, because there's a lot of things that have to be done before you actually start generating the houses that will be built.
Mr. Marley, hold on one second. Sir, could you come back to the podium, please? Thank you.
Wasn't sure who you were addressing that to.
All right, thank you. As I indicated, you don't have plans that are firm enough to be able to answer some of the questions that might come forth today. But the business, your company, FORESTAR, would have some idea of the range of prices, so forth, that these houses would represent in the market. And I guess I'm checking to see if there's any way you can give us a range of what those houses would be at this point. Recognizing it's going to change based upon
That's not the
market
engineer's
conditions,
question.
all that.
I'll ask someone from FORESTAR to address that, but I guess
Okay.
I'll get the whole crew up here.
I guess,
All right.
I would do this with a caveat.
maybe to rephrase that, what size houses are you looking to build?
Okay, I would do that with a caveat that we have a Fair Housing Act to be aware of.
Right.
And, you know, if you go to the training at the School of Government where Drew is now, they'll tell you that question is off limits in a public hearing. But we can address, you're right, the
Square
square
footage.
footage and some other questions like that.
Thank you.
And your name and address, too.
And sir, if you could state your name and your address, please? Thank you.
My name is Shane Forrest. I live at 3797 Filton Drive in Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm vice president with FORESTAR, so division lead at our Greensboro division. So generally speaking, we don't build the houses. We do all the horizontal development, but what we do is we pick land in areas where we see the most economic benefit, the most potential for an outstanding outcome. I would say that we have planned this to be consistent with the houses that are adjacent along Ashford, maybe a little bigger. But at the end of the day, we will sell the lots, and that's not our call. But as we look at land, that's what we're always looking at is what's the surroundings, what's the potential, because obviously that has an effect on our selling the lots. So, so I think you could reasonably expect, we reasonably expect that it will be consistent with, you know, and that's one of the reasons that it was attractive to us. Yes. So,
Thank you.
does that answer?
It does.
Absolutely.
Mr.
I do want to
Ryan.
clarify something. Somebody may have asked if this is a second phase of Ashcroft. Okay, so it's not. It's a separate buyer, separate builder, everything in a separate HOA. Totally separate project. It is connected.
It's its own subdivision.
Yes, that's right. It'll be separate. That's right, but connected. Okay, so thank you again.
Thank you. All right, is there anyone here to speak, anyone else here to speak for? Not if there's anyone here to speak against it. Same, right? All right, hearing none, we will close the public comment section at 6:45 and board discussion.
I'm satisfied.
Further discussion, any questions? You did a good job about answering.
I think that it was really good that, going back to Tom was saying that you did reach out to the community and ask them for their input. You said a location and a time. We get the letter in a timely manner, and I don't know how many people you sent the communication to, but I think you said only 6 or 7 showed, so obviously the people that it's directly will be affected by, or not affected by, but would have the direct effect of the community. So I thank you for doing your due diligence.
Anyone else? Okay. Hear none, would someone make a motion?
I make a motion to recommend the proposed rezoning be approved for the specified parcels in the requested zoning district based upon consistency and reasonableness determination statements that are included in the council agenda packet submitted during the planning rezoning presentation, and as may be amended, incorporated into the motion to be included in the minutes.
I second.
Okay, it has been moved and properly second. All in favor, raise your right hand, please. Seeing no opposers, so the rezoning request has been approved. Thank you. All right, at this time, we will have our planning staff report.
Okay, well,
Thank you all. Thank you.
Your former DOT guy? Yes. Okay.
Wait a minute, we need him to come to the podium.
You may be somebody different than I'm thinking, but did you grow up on 150 in Guilford County? Okay, I'm sorry.
I thought you were asking him a
Because
question.
I drove a school bus down through there and I picked up a young man by the same name, so.
I grew up here in Reidsville.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thank you. I thought you were asking him a question, so I need him to come back up. All right, planning board report?
yes.
Maintain
So,
the
staff report, we have, for Popeyes, we have no update yet. Can you hear me?
Okay, now Kim.
With the mall, we're working with the property owner to get progress being made. We have a new ice cream shop in downtown Reidsville.
It's where at?
That one is South Scales.
I'm right on the corner.
Next to La Boutique.
Next to where?
La Boutique.
Okay.
And our store, North Star, changed location, so it was in 119. It changed to 119 to, it has 2 units now.
Is that?
Yes, it's changed to 119 and 131 South Scale Street.
I'm sorry, and who was that?
The North Star,
Okay.
Realty.
yeah,
Gotcha.
the guns and clothing. We have the shred event in May 9th. And our downtown stroll in May 16th.
Any new businesses, any new permits, anything?
That's pretty much it. The ice cream shop, we're gonna have our bookstore too, opening soon. I believe it's in May 16 as well. We have the training for planning board that I sent you all a few days ago. For you're encouraged to take this. There's a possibility to take it online if you would like to. And that's all I have for the report.
Claudia, do you know the time of the actual trainings? Because I still like they're on Thursdays, but is it like an all-day training? Is it a couple of hours?
I can send you, I'm gonna do
Okay.
some digging on that, and
Okay.
I'm gonna send you what will be for either, if
Okay, that'll help.
What was that date again?
There were several dates.
it's several days, yes.
Okay, so there's nothing nailed down completely yet.
No, you actually select which date works best for you.
Locations, couple locations as well.
Okay.
And, yeah, and then just let the staff know, and then they'll register us.
Arrangements.
All right.
Several dates, in person and online.
Online, both options.
This is training for the UDO stuff or what?
This is for planning
Planning
board
board.
procedures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to what you and I did last year, yeah. With the UNC School of Government.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
So
correct.
everyone is encouraged to attend if you can.
Yes, yeah.
Take the training. All right. Anything else for Claudia? Any questions?
Is Popeye still coming?
Still,
You getting that question asked.
I know, we haven't heard anything from them, no update, but yes, nothing has changed in terms of they coming to Reidsville. We're still waiting on the developer.
Has anyone reached out to them recently?
No.
I think at our last meeting, Drew had said that she had talked to the quote big man, and he said, yes, we're coming.
Yes.
Franchise.
He didn't put a date as to when they would start or anything.
That was the last contact.
We need to work on securing some hospitality. Some hotels or something, I don't know. I know as growth continues, maybe that will draw,
Yes.
yeah, that will draw some hospitality in here.
So,
Absolutely.
Stuff like that.
Any updates on these subdivisions? Any of them getting close to breaking ground? Besides clearing the trees and letting them sit for 2 years?
So we're still in review. Gibbs Lake is getting closer. We just, we're finalizing the 6th review with them. But
Sure.
they're still in process. Yeah.
State your name and your address. I'm just messing.
Haywood Cloud, Junior Assistant City Manager, Community Services.
Thank you.
As Attorney Mark Isaacson said, the market dictates that stuff. I mean, we want them to go ahead and start building right away, but oftentimes we don't know what's going on in terms of, unless they call us, if they've gone through the process and the plans have been approved, we're kind of just waiting to see.
Haywood, I always recommend that be a two-way communication route. So if you haven't heard from them in a while, my expectation would be the city would reach out to them as well.
Yeah, and we have, because we've heard this question a lot, but what you don't want to do is
Don't aggravate.
aggravate
Yeah.
them. And so we've done that with multiple subdivisions. So you're right about that, but there's also, I think, a fine line between inquiring about something and bothering them. It's not that, because it could be some financial situation that they don't just want to keep hearing from us. When you gonna start? When you gonna start? So that's what we look at that as kind of a fine line. But you're right. It's good.
Well, it's also a chance to ask, is there anything more the city needs to be doing to help you?
Sure.
So, any loose ends that we
Yeah.
didn't think about,
Yeah, and we,
Just as a courtesy too.
sure, yeah, and we do that. Is there anything else that, we do that when we have conversations with them?
Out of the ones that we have approved, and the city council has approved, is any construction started on any of them that you know of, that you can remember?
There's a lot of
I know we had
trees,
quite
there's
a
a lot of trees hit the ground, a lot of dirt moving around Leadville Avenue and Sherwood,
Yeah, that was one.
Main Street too, extension, Main Street.
That's at,
That's school.
Yeah, that's at that, what, Freedom?
Freedom School.
Yeah.
This is off behind the apartments on Sherwood.
Yeah, I was getting ready, I rode through there the other day, and I looked back over where, I said, what, I see him here, all that was been cut out in there.
That was one. Yeah, that was
Too
one.
long ago.
That's correct.
That's one of those that we've approved already.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
must have been before.
Just curious.
I just saw through
Well, great question, though, great question.
everything had been cut.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Any more questions? Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Well, can I get a motion to adjourn? Can I get a second? All in favor? All right, meeting adjourned. Thank you all.